Hey guys, we are wrapping up our Christopher Columbus unit here, and we have just a couple chapters left in our final book. I thought I would go ahead and show you kind of the way that we have set it up a little bit. This is a quote that I got from the study guide for the Heroes of History book. I downloaded the study guide just to see what it's about. They have a bunch of quotes, and so this one we put up for Columbus, and it's something that we've been talking about throughout our study and talking about some of the ways that Columbus did this and some of the ways that he didn't do this. And so we've kind of been doing that. And then we have our map, which we're not using much yet because Columbus wasn't in this part of, he was more in Central and South America, but we've been using our scrunch map. Let's see, I have this here. Yeah, this is awesome. This is a scrunch map, and like the boys take it and just have a lot of fun with it. You can scrunch it up, as you can see. It's pretty indestructible. But we've been looking a lot, following Columbus's journeys on here and checking them out, and Samuel has been having all sorts of fun charting various courses of travel and journey. And so we have our setup here. This is our set of books, which basically I put some books in here, and then every week or so I try and rotate out some. So if there's some that they're definitely done with or haven't been interested at all, and I will rotate them out. And these are not just books that are specific to Columbus. As you can see, there's lots of explorer books, and I've got books on pirates, anything that kind of relates. This is not supposed to be in here. This is teaching. But anything that kind of relates we'll put in here. And then we also have this little bin that the boys have been using. This is a 3D interactive map. And so they've been sailing the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. This looks like you got a little step down here, sailing them from Spain to the islands. And it's also got little pieces like the manatee, for the manatee that they saw and thought that it was a mermaid. And so they can set up these different pieces. The Santa Maria sinks, and we act out kind of what's been going on, and those stay in here. And then I also usually have some other hands-on activities or projects, which my boys haven't been too interested in, so we haven't really done that. And then this, the cat totally ripped up. Oh, this is our folder where we keep all of our stuff. So we will be moving this map into there and pulling out our new maps for our next section, which will be about colonization. But I just thought I would show you guys, and we'll put this up the very last day we do Columbus. We'll put up our Columbus piece for our timeline there. I just wanted to kind of show you how I have things set up for our Columbus unit, and when it is time to do our history, I just kind of ask the boys to pick out whatever they want from here or here, and we do it, and it's pretty laid back and lots of fun. And sometimes I have other ideas of things that I can't put out here. Sometimes I will put DVDs out here or other little things. I think with this next unit, anytime I have a website or a DVD or something, I'm gonna put something in here so that they can just kind of look through and pick out and kind of see what we have. But yeah, that's kind of our setup. So here's a bit of a closer look at some of the things that we have used during this unit study. And I have this here. This is not the actual volume that we used, but Your Story Hour has a 4-part series on Christopher Columbus, and it is in the Heritage of Our Country set, and it is the episodes 1 through 4 of that. And so Samuel has listened to those over and over and over again, and he had heard them a number of times before, but it's been interesting seeing him piece things together. And they are old. There are some things that are not politically correct. That's true for a lot of this stuff, especially when you're talking about Columbus. There's so much controversy. But it's been interesting for us to look at it all and try and piece the things together, and it was a great way for us to talk about how history is often written from different perspectives, and how it's important to get a big picture of what's going on. So, but this is something Samuel loves listening to over and over and over again, and with all of this stuff, I'm going to link it all below so you can find it all if you're interested in any of it. But I just put this one here so I didn't forget to tell you about the Your Story Hour, because he really likes that a lot. This is the Drive-Through History. Now, this is a little bit advanced for my kids, but they still love it. And Samuel actually picks up a whole lot more than I thought he would. And he's very visual in his learning. So having this kind of helps him to see, because I mean, the Dave Scott, who's the person who is the host, he actually goes to these places. So it was neat for Samuel to be able to see some of the places that we would be reading about and talking about. And so this was really helpful too. And then this one, actually, I'm going to go to next. This is kind of our spine. And this is not as good as some of the other Heroes of History books that we've read, or Heroes of Christian Heroes Then and Now. It's a little more dry than a lot of the other ones, but it's still pretty good. And it does have a disclaimer at the front that says, basically, Christopher Columbus didn't always have the same kind of character traits that we would like to see in Heroes of History, but that his discoveries were hugely important to opening trade and bringing other explorers over to the Americas, and so that's why they included it. And anyway, I just thought that that was interesting, and Samuel's really enjoyed it. We're almost done. He's always wanted me to read it, so this has been kind of a spine, and you'll see these books more in our units to come too. And this also gives, I mean, we're studying Christopher Columbus, that's obviously about a person, but I like these because when we're studying different time periods and different things, I like to have at least one or two people that we can focus on so that it becomes something more real and not just a bunch of facts that we're reading. So that's interesting. And this one, actually, I'm doing next. I had told you before that if I had this to do over again, I would probably put early Native Americans, Leif the Lucky, Christopher Columbus, all of that into kind of one unit, and this would be a great way to kind of bridge it all together. It is such a beautiful book. It's called The Discovery of America, and it basically talks about how the first people got to America, to North America and South America, and how they set up civilizations, and it talks about the possibility of there being some interaction between the Asia and the Americas, and similarities of toys and things, and talks about all the different people that came and when they came and how they came, and just how America was discovered and established, basically. And it kind of goes through just a bunch of different explorers, a bunch of different people, and the unique contributions that they made. And I feel like this is just a really good introduction to America and the discovery of America and America in general. So this is a really, really great book. And like I said, the pictures are beautiful. My kids looked at them again and again and again. So we also had our typical book. This is from Beautiful Feet, and they recommend all of these books. And this book, I mean, I was actually impressed and surprised by this book. I thought that I would not like it, but I felt like it did a pretty good job. And I was unsure about some of it, but the more I read and study, I mean, it's fairly accurate. There's always some, like I said, this is a very old book. There's a little bit of political inaccuracy, but again, that was a good opportunity for discussing and just looking at the beautiful pictures. And Samuel likes to pull out this book when we're reading this book, and he likes to find the pictures in here that match with what we're reading, and so that's really fun. So yeah, we really enjoyed this book. And then I had a few books that kind of branched off. So there were some books on explorers. So we learned about explorers in general. And again, Samuel really seems to like these Kingfisher books a lot. And this one's nice because we didn't have to read the whole one at a time. We could just read about different explorers, and we did kind of jump around. But we could talk about Marco Polo, who's mentioned. Oh, that's Viking. Marco Polo, who was mentioned in some of the books with Columbus. And anyway, it was just kind of a good way to talk about exploration in general. And then we also got this one from the library, which this one I would say is better probably for maybe 8 and up, but it was really interesting for me to look at. It's got a lot of information about explorers again, but then it's also got several hands-on ideas and activities to do that would be really, really fun. So if your child especially likes doing activities, this would be a really fun way to do that. It talks about a lot of the instruments and how they figured things out, and there's just really a lot in here. And it was just really, really, really interesting. So this talks about Columbus and just all kinds of stuff. So I thought that this was a pretty good book. We didn't use it much, but I did want to share it with you because it is so good. And I think that if my boys were just a little older, if yours are maybe just a little older, if you have some that are a little older, this would be a really great book to have on hand. And this one, of course, the DKI Eyewitness books are just amazing to look at. So that's kind of what we did with this book. It's got lots of nautical instruments, just lots of what ships were like and the different armor that they used, and just all kinds of stuff in here. It's like eye candy. And this is not one, again, that we sat down and read, but we would pull out from time to time, and the boys would ask about various parts of it, and it just kind of makes things come alive a little bit better. And as usual, it comes with the CD, so if you want to print out any of the pictures, you can do that. So that was cool. And then this is the only book I currently have on pirates, and I didn't think to coordinate it with the library enough to get some. But this is something we will probably continue to have a little bit about pirates as we discuss setting up colonization in the Mayflower and some of the other things, because piracy did happen. Now, it wasn't so much an issue there as it would be with Columbus. Of course, one of his early sailings before he went to before he got the ability to explore farther and find the Americas was his ship was attacked by pirates. So that came up, and so we were learning more about pirates and talking about when piracy was in the golden age of piracy in relation to when we were studying. And so we did some geography and talked a lot about that. But I love these books. My boys love these books. They're Usborne beginners, and they really seem to have the right amount of information on the page, and we have a whole set of these, and the boys just really like them. So pirates it was for this. And then this I am going to do a separate review on. I've mentioned it before, and I showed you the map that we used, but we just used the map of Columbus in here. I actually, at this point, see, you just print it out, you copy it and whatever, and cut them out and color them, and it's got more information and questions that you can do with the map, things that you can teach with. I actually just color them for the boys right now. I love coloring, so it's stress relieving for me, and then they really like the interactive part, and a lot of times we will use these maps and go back to them over and over again to discuss where people are and what's going on. So this is really, really helpful for that. Those are kind of the main resources that we use for our unit study with Columbus. I had a few other activities and ideas set up that we didn't end up doing. I think one thing that I've learned with this, what I'm going to do, I talked about having things prepared ahead of time and trying to figure out how to get the hands-on stuff done. So I think what I'm going to do in this is all trial and error, right? Trial and error. So the boys are having fun and learning a lot. That's the most important thing. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together little packets of stuff that's pre-ready and set those out, get them even more ready than usual, so that if the boys want to do something, they can pull it out. We can do it right away. Everything's there. It's all ready to go. But I'm still going to continue to leave out some books and things so that if they want to come up with their own activities. So it's kind of a merging of what I was doing before and what I was doing now, but I'm taking the same perspective that I've taken with the lesson plans, and that I've got everything 100% ready to go, and we can do it anytime, because I think if I have little Ziploc bags or clear bags or something where they can see in with all of the elements ready for the activity, and maybe a picture or something on the front, even if it's just a little hand-drawn picture of what it could look like, I think they're way more likely to be interested in doing it than if it's just in a book or whatnot. So I'm going to try that this time around. Otherwise, things are going really well, and we had a great study of Columbus. We've just got a couple chapters we're wrapping up this week, and we're going to get ready to start learning about Jamestown and Pocahontas. I've been previewing some books, and we've got some really good stuff for this upcoming unit, and I can't wait. It's going to be excited. Samuel's already really excited about it. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Have you guys done Columbus? I would love to hear any materials or resources or activities or anything that you have found in your studies of Columbus that has been useful. Please let me know in the comments below. The more we share, the more over time when people come back and watch this video, the more resources will be there for them. And it's always great to help each other out in homeschool. So I would love to hear from you guys, and I hope that you're having a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.